Hello, I'm Guido Möllering from University, and I'm going to tell you about the basic idea behind our course, Organizing in Times of Crisis, the Case of War and Armed Conflict.
Hi, I'm Elke Schüssler from the Johannes Kepler University in Linz, and I will tell you about the platform behind this course, or on which we will present this course.
And I'm Trittin-Ulbrich. I'm from the Leuphana University in Lüneburg, and I will talk a little bit about how you can teach this course.
So where did this idea come from? Well, like probably most of you watching this on the 24th of February, we were all very shocked by the war starting in Ukraine. And what do you do when you experience such a shock? Well, you first of all try to understand it better, and you ask yourself, what can you do about it? And for us as instructors in universities in management and organization programs, we thought we have to bring this topic into our classroom. After all, the organizations we're teaching about all the time are all affected one way or another by this kind of event, and quite severely often, with their stakeholders, with their supply chains, with their political relationships. And so we thought that organization theory has so much to offer to help us understand and actually talk about these events and make sense of them. But then the semester almost started. How do you do this so quickly? Should every instructor just make his own or her own syllabus? And then we thought, no, we can do this together. There are many of us around Europe, around the world, teaching on this, and we could maybe offer different aspects of crisis management that we know about already and apply them to this event and to this shocking war.
Yes, and unfortunately, the Ukraine war or Russian invasion in Ukraine is not the only crisis we're in at the moment. The last couple of years were marked by the COVID-19 pandemic, and we have actually been in a very similar situation in 2020, when in March, Europe, the whole world almost, but certainly Europe went into lockdown, including universities, and we had to shift all of our teaching online very rapidly. And at that time, we have developed an online teaching platform with the title Organizing in Times of Crisis, on which we have put together a collaborative course, which brought together the expertise of different instructors who are all experts in crisis management, do very active research on different facets of crisis management, and they have each contributed 1 or 2 classes. So this platform was actually is kind of a prototype, so it can be applied to different cases. The first case was the case of COVID-19, and now we're using the same platform and the same teaching concept to talk about the case of war more generally, and the current war situation in Ukraine specifically. Let me just highlight some features of this platform. First of all, it's important to note this is not a MOOC. So this is not a course that basically anyone in the world can sign up to and get credits for. So it is still a course that is taught by specific professors, faculty members at specific universities. However, the materials for this course, they are available open access for everyone. Secondly, the materials are presented in a collaborative way. So it's not just one professor, one faculty member doing the whole course, but different faculty members from different universities presenting different topics. And the course in this way can actually be taught at different universities at the same time. The course is designed in a way that there will be short lectures and some readings which highlight general aspects, dimensions of crisis management, like leadership in times of crisis or decision-making in times of crisis. Of course, topics that have to do with management and organization. But then through assignments and through classroom discussions, these more general inputs can and should be applied to different crisis situations. And in doing so, that's the final point I want to make. We don't just want to provide materials that basically instructors around the world can use, but we also want to encourage our colleagues to talk about this crisis situation, because in this way we can provide a reflection point for us, but of course also for our students, to talk about difficult situations and give them some tools, concepts, and theories to actually make sense of the situation the world is in at a specific time. So Hannah will now tell us a little bit more about how you can actually work with this course platform.
My experience from teaching the first time organizing in times of crisis course is obviously playing into this video a little bit. So first of all, let me tell you that the course material here is can be used in a modular way. So you can use it in addition to an existing course that you're maybe teaching. You can also use the whole course, the whole, let's say 16 sessions that we have collected and brought together here as a standalone course on in your university. You can also edit aspects of it. So we provide you with a syllabus that you can adapt to your needs. You can rewrite certain aspects or reframe certain aspects as you would like. You can, change the order of content, for example, as you please, and it really that make it suit to your specific requirements at your university. In terms of teaching, you can, as we did with the times of crisis, the case of the pandemic course, the first course which took place in the pandemic, where we had all were sitting at home basically teaching. Many of us completely drew on asynchronous teaching formats to teach this course without, let's say, direct interaction with our students. However, in this case, we would encourage you to make use of synchronous teaching, even in classrooms, now that some of us have gone back to the classroom in person teaching, to make this material come to life, so to speak, because we try to link the theories and concepts with the actual organizational practice. Here we think that it's very important also for, let's say, the student experience, that lively discussions evolve around these lectures. And obviously we provide you with a lot of assignments for each lecture, and you could basically follow our instructions here, writing that students can write an essay or should engage in student discussions. But obviously this also depends on the way how you teach. So regarding the assignments, you can basically also adapt these to your specific needs. In specific, you can think about either using the assignments for in-class discussions, or you can actually use them as a form of examination, basically, if you want to, provide students with a proper grade. So we think that we provide you with a good insight into how we would potentially grade the course along these assignments, but you can obviously adapt to this. And then we guess that obviously we would love to hear from your experiences. So we have on our weblog, we have a blog actually, where we also share student experiences with the last course. We regularly share our insights and reflections on how we teach this course in 2022. So if you're interested in sharing your experiences, we would love to hear from you, and hope that you find this as a valuable source to deal with this very specific and very, let's say, dire situation in Ukraine, and obviously with other war and armed conflict situations.
And in this spirit of sharing experiences, I'm happy to talk about our first week with this module in Witten. We already started, and I can just confirm that the students really want to discuss this topic. They don't just want to read and write an essay, but it's very valuable to them to be able to share their views and concerns. And even in our first session, we discussed a simple question like, should businesses stop trading with Russia at all? And you could see how many pros and cons come up, but not in a very structured way. And with a syllabus and a systematic organization theoretical perspective, the different arguments can be really put into perspective and to content. And so this was very important. Moreover, in our class, there are students from Ukraine who are currently out of the country, but are taking part in classes. And I think this is also an extremely important experience for them, but also for our students. And a final suggestion, well, if your module doesn't allow you to do a whole semester on this, maybe you are teaching a leadership class or a CSR class, and you can at least use 1 or 2 weeks on this topic and use 1 or 2 of our sessions. And I think that would also be a great value to your students. So we hope that you will find the materials useful and interesting. And on the website, you of course also find contact details in case the things don't make sense, in case you have technical questions about the content. You can just get in touch with us and we'll be very pleased to help you with that. And as dreadful as the topic is and as horrible as the events are, we think this is an extremely important opportunity to really teach relevant topics in management and also to show that organization theory is very relevant for understanding these important changes in our world. Thank you for your interest, and we look forward to hearing from you.